and I'll be leading the class today. As I was saying to people as they were coming in, we're running a bit of an experiment on a Thursday where we're putting the class onto YouTube Live as well. So what we're doing is we're keeping everybody muted just for the first 40 minutes so that you don't appear on YouTube or anything like that. And then we'll bring you off YouTube at about 22. And if you've got any questions, you can ask them. So I hope that sounds good. And we'll just hang on for a few more moments. There's a few more people joining us. And then we'll make a start. So just getting yourselves ready to meditate. We're going to be doing the Metta Bhavana meditation today, and I'll say a bit about that. But perhaps before I say a bit about the practice itself, just remembering how important it is to have a posture that is comfortable. I can't see how you're all sat, but you want your posture to be comfortable. You want it to be pretty solid and stable on the ground. And but you also want to feel alert as well. So I'm just sat on a chair. The chair's got quite a hard back, which keeps my back straight. I've got my feet flat to the ground, which is helpful. It means that I'm solid and stable to the ground. So you might want to take up a posture that also achieves those ends. So comfortable, alert, solid and stable. Great, just one more person coming in. Hi, Joshua.
Hiya.
Okay, so we're going to be doing a meditation practice today called the Metta Bhavana. So metta is an ancient Indian word. It's an ancient Pali word, and it means something like friend or friendliness. And bhavana means to cultivate. So you put them together and you get the cultivation of kindness, or the cultivation of loving kindness, it's sometimes known as. And what we're trying to do in the meditation is we're trying to develop a sense of well-wishing, a sense of wanting all of the beings, including ourselves, to be happy, to be free of suffering. So we're trying to go beyond our usual preferences for things, because usually in our lives we've got people that we like, that we get on with. Maybe there's people we don't know very well and we're sort of indifferent to them. And there's other people who, if we're honest, we kind of actively dislike. So for most people, we have all these different kinds of people in our lives. And what we're trying to do in the meditation is we're trying to go beyond that and just to wish everybody well equally, including ourselves, basically. And I suppose that you could ask why do that, and I suppose there's probably many good reasons to do that. But one of the obvious ones, at least for me, is that when we have a sense of kindness, a sense of well-wishing towards ourselves and towards other people, we just feel a lot better. We just feel happier when we feel connected, when we feel warm towards ourselves and others. And likewise, when we feel antagonistic towards ourselves or towards other people, when we feel disconnected, we suffer. That seems to be just the way it is. So on that basis alone, I mean, there's many reasons to want to have kindly thoughts towards other people, but for that reason alone, I think the practice is really worth doing. And it's also, there's some big stuff happening in the world, isn't there? And most people want to feel like they're contributing something positive to the world. And it's really hard to do that if you find it hard to get on with other people, or if you're very bound up in feelings of hatred and ill will. So if you want to get anything positive done in the world, we need to be able to get on with other people and at least to appreciate their positive qualities. And that goes for us as well. We need to be able to appreciate our own positive qualities as well. So yeah, I want to do the practice in a particular way. So we have this idea of metta bhavana. So we're cultivating this thing that we're calling metta, kindness, friendliness. But in a way, I think that can give the wrong impression. It can kind of give us the impression that there is this thing called metta. We don't have it, and we need to do this meditation to somehow bring it into being. We need to kind of make it magically come into being. And I think that is, in some ways, a kind of an unhelpful way of viewing it. I think it's much better just to trust that you have kindness, you have metta, everyone has the capacity for that, and you're just open to it, and then you share it with other people. So rather than having this idea of, oh, I'm not a very kind person, I need to do this meditation to become kind, more have the attitude of, there is kindness, you do have kindness, and you're just going to be receptive to it for this meditation, and you're going to open up to it, and then we're going to share it with some other people. So I think in some ways that's a much healthier way of viewing it, because a lot of us can feel quite rubbish about ourselves. And actually, just trust that you have kindness. Everybody has it. And then we're just open to it. Okay. But hopefully that'll become clear in the way I lead the meditation in a moment. So we're going to do, we're going to do all 5 stages of the practice. So in stage 1, we basically cultivate kindness towards ourselves. But again, I shouldn't use that word cultivate. We're just going to open to the kindness that is already there within ourselves. We'll do that for a little bit, and then we're going to bring to mind a good friend. So someone, when they're happy, you feel happy. If they were down and upset, you'd want to do something about that. You'd want to help them. You'd want to give them a call. Someone you've got, it's a very straightforward, positive relationship to, a good friend. So we'll cultivate kindness towards ourselves, the good friend, and then we'll bring to mind someone we don't know very well. So it could be someone that you see around. Like I was saying this the other week that I've really got to know my neighbours a bit more during the lockdown, because people have been out on the street more and been saying hello, and so it's a bit like I've started to notice people on my street, and in some ways I don't know anything about them. I don't know the detail of their lives. So I usually bring to mind someone like that. So someone I don't know very well, who I don't have any strong feelings about, and I bring them to mind. And then we're going to share this kindness, this well-wishing with them. And then in the next stage, we're going to bring to mind someone we find difficult. So maybe during this period, there has been people that you've been finding difficult, and maybe don't pick the person who actually, when you bring them to mind, they really bring out a lot of fear or a lot of really difficult emotion. Maybe you could just pick someone that you just finding a bit irritating at the minute, and we'll bring them to mind, and we're going to share this kindness with them as well. And then we're going to just spread out to more and more people. And then we'll bring the practice to a close. So I hope that makes sense. And we'll begin with a bit of body awareness as well. So just getting ready to meditate now. So just taking up your posture. And, if you feel free, if you want to turn your camera off to do that, if you feel self-conscious, but feel free to leave it on while I'll have our eyes closed. So just getting ready to meditate. And you could close your eyes. And you could take a really deep breath. And as you breathe out, just let go. And when we meditate, it's really important that we are embodied. And what I mean by that is we want our awareness to be in the body. So just feeling into your body now. Maybe noticing the points of contact, your feet on the ground, your bum on the chair or cushion. Maybe just feeling the weight of the body. It can often feel like we live in our heads, but that isn't quite right. So seeing if you can allow your awareness to sink down into the body, into the torso. We might just briefly go through the body. So maybe starting around the forehead, just feeling into your forehead. Maybe having a sense of the forehead softening and relaxing. And the eyes, the eye sockets, eyeballs, all around the eyes. And the cheeks and the lips. Just noticing the sensations. And the whole head. Just one orb of sensation balancing on the neck. And then allowing the awareness to flow down into the neck and the shoulders. Sometimes imagine my awareness is like a liquid, like a flowing liquid. And it's going to flow down from the shoulders into the arms and the elbows and the lower arms and the wrists. And down into the hands. Hands just filling with awareness. Each finger. Maybe you notice your hands pressing against each other, or your hands in your lap. And then the awareness flows down into the chest and the belly. Notice them rising and falling with the breath. And the back of the body. Be really curious about sensations as we scan down the body. Maybe there's parts of your body there where there's strong sensation. And maybe there's parts that feel a bit nothing. Just notice all that. As the awareness flows down into the buttocks and the sitting bones, your bum pressing against the chair or cushion. And the pelvic region. And then this awareness, this liquid awareness, is flowing down into our legs. The big thigh muscles, the knees. the lower legs and the ankles. And down into the feet. Just noticing your feet pressing against the ground, assuming they are. Now just notice the whole body all at once. It's a bit like you've just taken a step back and you're just surveying the whole body now. This is mindfulness of the body. And there's also other things we can be aware of. We could notice sounds, sound of my voice, sound of things in your home or outside your home. We can notice light coming through your closed eyelids. It's not completely dark behind the eyes. There's color and shape. You could notice that. Maybe you can even notice the coolness of the air against your exposed skin. Maybe in your hands and your face. The air is just cool. That's because your body is warm. You might even be able to notice smells or taste, but maybe not. So we're trying to have a spacious awareness that includes the body, but also includes our other sense fields, what we can hear, what we can see, what we can taste and touch. So just keeping that sense of a wide open, spacious awareness. And we'll move into the first stage of the Metta Bhavana. And I'm going to suggest the way we do that is just really simple. We're just going to stay aware of our body and the space around us. And we're going to imagine that from our heart, there's just a warm light that is radiating through our body. And it feels a bit like sunshine. So everyone knows how nice it is when the clouds part and the sun appears and it falls on your face. You could just connect with that feeling for a moment. So just allowing this warm light, and it's the warm light of kindness, just to radiate through your body and just opening to it. Just staying receptive. Notice where there's any sense of openness or pleasure, warmth. And when you get distracted, which you will, just kindly but persistently Bring your awareness back to the body, back to a sense of spacious awareness, and back to just opening to this warm light that is radiating from your heart. So we're not trying to make anything happen. We're not trying to force anything. But just entertain the possibility that this warm light is the warm light of kindness. And just enjoy it. Maybe you could be particularly sensitive to any sensations around your heart. Okay, so just continuing to be aware of the body, continuing to have our senses open to give us a sense of spaciousness. But just bringing to mind now a good friend. Sometimes I just have an image of my friend, or maybe I imagine they're sat here with me. Just connecting to a sense of your friend. Maybe connecting to a sense of appreciation. I suspect you're pretty glad you've got this person in your life. This person who really wants to be happy, really doesn't want to suffer, and maybe finds it difficult, finds life difficult sometimes. And just allowing this warm light just to be shared with them. And it's going to fall down on them like sunshine. Being sensitive to any feelings in the body where there's a sense of openness or warmth. It might be quite subtle. And if you notice that, well, just pay attention to it and enjoy it. Just coming back to the body and then coming back to your friend every time you get distracted. Allowing your friend to fade from your mind for now. Just allowing someone you don't know very well to come to mind. Maybe they're a neighbor or you see them around. Maybe they work in the same office, but you don't really know them. Now, this person, although you don't really know them, you know they're a human being. And as a human being, they probably, well, definitely, really want to be happy and really deeply don't want to suffer. And they probably don't find it easy. And in that way, they're exactly like you. They're exactly like your good friend. So see if you can just share with them this warm light radiating from your heart. Don't overthink it. Just have a sense of warmth, of light coming from your heart, and just bring this person to mind. try and have a sense that you're just inviting this person in to this sphere of kindness, of warm light that is radiating from your heart. You're not having to reach out to them, you're just inviting them in. It actually doesn't require anything of you. You already have this warm light, this kindness. And you don't mind sharing it because it's not the kind of thing that gets diminished if you share it. In fact, it increases. Just allowing this person to fade from your mind for now. Just connecting with how you're doing. You're comfortable in your posture. Making any small adjustments you might need. And then we're going to bring to mind someone we're finding difficult right now. They could even be a friend, but just at the minute, you're just finding them a bit hard to be around. And noticing how it feels to bring this person to mind. But recognizing that they're also doing this difficult thing called being a human being. They're also really trying to be happy. They're also really trying not to suffer. And they also probably don't find it easy. So just seeing for this next few minutes whether you can just share this warm light that's radiating from your heart with them, inviting them into it. And if it gets a bit intense, well, just go back to having metta towards yourself. Okay, so just keeping this difficult person in mind, but bringing back the other three people from the practice. So the neutral person, the friend, and yourself. So if you can just get a sense of sharing this warm light with all 4 people equally, including yourself. Again, don't get too conceptual or technical about it. Just have a sense of these other 3 people being with you, and you're sharing this warm light with them. And then allowing this warm light to radiate out into the world. So you could do that using direction. So you could imagine it's radiating out in front of you and behind you and to the left, to your right, and above and below, in all directions. This kindness is just falling down on anyone it meets like sunshine. All kinds of people in the world, but for this next minute or so, you're just wishing them well in this way. And then just relaxing, making any effort. And just sitting, just for the last few moments. Just absorbing what we've been doing. Not trying to do anything in particular now. Just sitting in this spacious awareness, filled with warm light. And then when you're ready, just gradually bringing the practice to a close and moving the body gently and opening the eyes.